like the calculations and stuff?
That are published on Canvas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's so there are 10 different problems, and I think we are planning to do 8 of them. And some of is linked to gases. So now we have started looking into the gas calculations, so you can use that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
With gases, and then we continued with liquids, and then gas condensates. That's the plan. So he will follow up and keep for the next few. I'll go back to if I'm sharing. So where are my PowerPoint? So I will share this one. Yeah. So this is in a way the plan further. So we are in week 38. On Thursday, and so introduction to exercises, and the student assistant will do that. As I said, log on Zoom, and he should be on Zoom from 3 o'clock. And then we have, So, but further on, the plans now, week 39, we will also have 2 sessions with fluid lecturing, and so I will do the first on Monday. I will have a fluid lectures. On Thursday we will split it into 1 hour with the fluid lectures and 1 hour with exercises, and we will share the exercises and lecturing from week 39 and further on Thursdays. So sometimes if I need to have a little bit more lecturing, I will take an hour or something, and he will help you with exercises for the last hour. That's the plan. So that it exactly plans. Maybe some days there will only be exercises support, and we skip. We don't have any lecturing. So we will see. So, but the plan is that we will finalize in week 43 or week 44 or week 45, depending on the progress. So that's the plan, at least. So then we need to see what's happening with that. And the exam is set to the 14th of December. If someone hasn't been aware of it, so it will be arranged digitally. That's also set. So you do your exam at home or anywhere, and deliver the exam within the time limit that you get. So typically it starts at 9 and ends at 1 o'clock, 4 hours exam, and you deliver the answers on scan it or take picture with your mobile phone and send the complete file to. You have it will be arranged, and so someone. I haven't been participating in that, so I don't know all the details on it. But all exams will be digitally this semester. In case of Corona and in case of the problem with having large rooms with a lot of students doing written exams at the same time. So it's Corona time, so that's the reason why. So see what's happening next year. And if you fail the exam, and what's happened, possibilities for the next year. Maybe there will be no digital exam. Never know. You never know. Okay, good. We will continue in a way, and so we had. I need to go further down on pages. So we. Didn't I share it? Share the screen. Yeah. So we went through, we will continue. Okay, it will not jump. Okay, we was at the end. We was somewhere on this PowerPoint. We went through. We can. Yeah. So we ended up with this, we was here and we was here. Yeah. Yeah, we looked into the individual approaches for calculating resources in reservoirs, and we stopped here. So we will continue looking into water in hydrocarbon gases. So that's the plan for today, and we continue. And water is always a part of hydrocarbon gases that are produced from the reservoir. So it will be in equilibrium with the gas. The water will always be in equilibrium with the gas phase. And we can use the Dalton law and say that the composition of water or the amount of water will always be equal to the partial pressure of water inside our gas system, as long as it's in equilibrium. So this here, partial pressure of water. And this is the mole fraction of water in the system. And what we can do if we want to have a gas composition including water, we need to normalize the gas composition including the water component. That we can do for the individual gas component to get the correct molar composition of the individual gas components in our system. So that's done if it's needed, but the chemical analysis that we're doing with gas chromatography is not accounting for water. So water is not normally included. Okay. And then there is also an empirical correlation in a way if we want to have an idea about the amount of water that are present in gases. So I can calculate the weight of water per standard volume of unit gas by this equation here. So it's a constant, and it's including the partial pressure of water and the total pressure of the system. And then I get the value of number of pounds per 10 in 6 standard cubic per million standard cubic feet. So that's typically the way we can calculate the amount of gases that are present if we don't know the composition of gas. And that definitely in petroleum business there is a issue regarding the presence of water in hydrocarbon gases, and the main issue definitely regarding production is linked to at least offshore pipelines on sea bottoms and deep water. There is a low temperature, and hydrate could form in cold environment, and they typically linked to the pipelines, but also in the process system from wellhead to production or through the production. And when we are producing gas through pipelines, and if we have pressure drops, there is a Joule-Thomson or a cooling effect when we have pressure in gas systems. So it's not only the sea bed or the temperature, equilibrium temperature where we have the pipeline present, but also due to if there is a pressure reduction, there may be Joule-Thomson effect of that the gas expands, and that represents an extra cooling of the gas system. So it's just a description of the Joule-Thomson effect, but what we should know is that all systems with gas flow, where we have pressure declines, there may be a cooling effect of the process system. And Joule-Thomson effect is in a way what we are using in heat exchanger pumps, and that principle is used.
Sir, what about liquid? So this is for gas, it will be cooled. What about liquid?
No, in liquid there is no, yeah, definitely in liquid there is always a problem with the presence of water is always a problem. We don't like to produce water, of course, but there is no hydrate formation as a typical part taking place in pipelines where you have producing oil.
Sir, I meant about the Joule-Kelvin effect.
No, that's not happening. It's only when you have a and the fluid, and there is no expansion of liquid during a pressure drop or a minimum expansion of the liquids.
Okay.
No. And what is a hydrate? Definitely what we see is that we can have hydrate present in all processes linked to exploration. Where we drill at the sea bottom. Typically there may be formations close to the sea bottom that are hydrate rich. So gas are migrating up through the sediments. And with the presence of water, they may form hydrate if the temperature is low enough. So all drilling operations, deep sea, offshore is hydrate, something we at least need to be aware of the presence of hydrates. Also during drilling operations. Typically what we see definitely on land, Arctic permafrost areas, there is hydrate present, and that's something they are talking about in environmental issues in the Siberia area, where we have a climate change, temperature increases, and a lot of hydrate that are present in the formations. And that hydrate is released due to the increase in temperature. So there are subsidence of the surfaces in some areas, collapsing surfaces, and so hydrate is a part of the process that we should be aware of, and it's also looked upon as a resource for hydrocarbons. And in Japan, offshore Japan, they are trying to track down at 2,000 meter depths or sea depths. There is a lot of hydrate present. So they are looking into, is there a potential of taking benefit of that, or producing that type of methane from that hydrate. And this is in a way the hydrate as it can be seen if you have it on available. So it's a water and gas that behave as a frozen water and gas. A lot of gas inside the water molecules. So here is a structure of water molecules that have caves where we have space for low molecule weight hydrocarbons within this cave structure of water molecules. And this is what could happen in pipelines. It's a frozen pipeline with hydrate frozen pipeline.
At the surface?
No, it's probably something that is taken up from the sea bottom or from taken up. So you have a plugged pipeline and you need to get rid of the plug. So I'm not exactly sure where exactly this is taken from, but this is a hydrate that are formed, a gas pipeline where you have access to water and it freezes. So this complexing of water molecules with space for hydrocarbons in the middle of the cave is in a way this chelate could, so for one volume of water we could have up to 70 to 300 volumes of gas in a hydrate. And as I said, the hydrate solids can be formed with typically what type of gases could be present is nitrogen, H2S, CO2, methane, ethane, typically, but also propane and isobutane could be present. But typically, it's the low molecular weight hydrocarbons and CO2 that are present in hydrates. Larger molecules require the presence of some smaller molecules like methane, for example. If we have a larger, so the different type of hydrate structures, but typically it's, yeah. And what they also said here that the natural gas hydrates have to be distinguished from the common inorganic salt hydrates, that where we have a salt that have water molecules as a part of the chemical structure. When you're buying, working in the laboratory, some of the salts have crystalline water as a part of the structure. So it's not the same. Here is the water molecules that make a cave or a hydrate formation, and there is a space for gases in the structure of it. At the proper combination of the temperature, pressure, and low molecular gases, water molecules arrange themselves into ring structures, and the different type of tetrahedrals and hexahedral structures of these water molecules. And generally, there are different, some theoretically hydrates are different type of structures, but most of the hydrate that we observe in nature is linked to this structure one. It contains methane, ethane, and carbon dioxide. That's the normal hydrate that are formed. When we are working in laboratories and experiments, we can work with structure 2 or structure H, depending on, we can manipulate that to try to understand hydrate in a better way from laboratory experiments. But typically, it's the structure 1 here that are the normal, natural hydrate that we observe.
But sir,
Yeah?
can it be super valuable for us, these hydrates in industry for producing things, or they are not that important?
In petroleum business, it's generally a problem. Something to solve. Yeah. Hydrate is looked upon as a problem, something that we need to solve. Yeah. So, but as I said, there is a lot of hydrates around the world, huge amount of hydrocarbon gases that are trapped in hydrates, and if we can exploit that, definitely it could be possible. So be economical, but it partly depends on the value of the gas. So and how to produce it. Just a table is showing a different type of these structure that I talked about. But as I said, mainly the structure one that are important when we are discussing hydrates. And then back to what we talked about regarding what I need if I'm working with hydrates or evaluating hydrate potential in process systems. I need to look into the potential of if I have pressure drop in my pipeline, if there is a how much could temperature decline. So there's some charts showing that. So if I have an initial pressure in my pipeline and I have a certain pressure drop through a valve or